comment.
All right, here we are. Hi, Aden Stay. Welcome to the Chelsea Skidmore show.
Chelsea, what's cracking? How have you been, girl?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in like 13 years, I feel like. Because I left Hawaii in 2008.
Been that long?
Mm-hmm. But you look exactly the same, which is so weird.
I don't really age. I'm 65.
You know what how old? Okay, so I was like, when I knew you, I was like 18 to 20 years old. How old were you? How old were you? I didn't know how much old you.
How old are you, Aden? Who are you? What is going on here? I think that, well, how old are you now? Do you want to say that?
I'm 33.
I'm 10 years older than you, honey.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then you were, okay, so you were 30. It's just funny because it's like, okay, so for the context for everyone listening, I knew Aden when I lived in Hawaii and I went to college there. My boyfriend at the time were you guys best friends?
Yeah.
Best friends.
We're homeboys. Jutunes is my dude.
I know. So wait, did I tell you that I saw him?
No, you didn't. Where'd you see him?
This was so crazy. So I was in
recently?
Yes, I was in Encinitas, and I was staying at this hotel. Actually, it was Cardiff. I was staying at this hotel, and he literally lives, I don't know if he's still there, a block away from my hotel. And I had no idea he was there. I haven't seen him in like 7 years, and I happened to just get out of the shower in the morning. Literally, my hair hadn't been brushed. Like, I was in the shower and my hair had like dreadlocks, you know, from like being really tangled. And I just threw it up in a clip. I hadn't brushed my teeth. I had no makeup on. And like, I don't even like, as a guy, you probably don't care about any of this, but as a girl, like, you don't want to run into your ex looking like that, you know?
He's just all, yes.
And then I was walking my dog and I was so shocked to see him, and like exactly the same person. Like the heaviest energy.
Oh, he's still a starving artist. He plays that role so well. So funny.
I was like, are you okay? I was like, are you depressed? He was like, I'm fine, Chelsea. Good to see you. Like, what?
Have you seen my emo cat? His character kills it with that character.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've been blocked for a long time, but but I see it around.
Drink your Bang energy drink, everybody.
Are you a part of that company?
Yeah, I'm a Bang sponsored like model guy.
Ooh.
Athlete. So they give me a lot of that thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So before we get into Aden today, let's talk about Aden 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
On the North Shore here with you.
Are you still in VLAND?
I am actually. Well, like the house that you stayed at is behind me. And then I bought this one next door. Remember where like Mike and Patty lived?
I don't know who that is, but is that on the hill, like behind where your house was? Okay.
No, it's like, here's my house, and then right next door, it's still all on Crazy Lane here on the North Shore.
Yes, I missed that whole spot. That was such an amazing. I need to go up there again.
It's we've 10 years ago. You were here when all the meth heads were trying to live around here, yeah?
Probably.
We beat everybody up?
No, what happened?
Oh, so like my dad got in a motorcycle accident down. I was on Halloween night. I was on mushrooms and losing my mind with my chick, and I had her on like a choker, and she was in all leather, and I was wearing like Speedos, with a gag ball in my mouth. I was frying on mushrooms, losing my brain, having such a fun time. And my dad got in an accident and came home, did that. My brother was on a good one because he goes on good ones, little benders. And he was having a bunch of meth heads around the hood, so I called up the posse and we came and lynched him.
What'd
That
you
was our
do?
story.
Wait, what does that mean?
Lynched him. We beat them all up. A bunch of the boys from the North Shore came. We beat up all these guys and sent them packing.
Wow.
This place is like notorious for like, I don't know, lots of like tweakers on the North Shore in this area. They just had a big raid the other day.
Really?
I don't want to jump around from errors.
Yeah, no. I live in West Hollywood, and I'm like pointing to my window. And it's all tweakers. Like we don't want to live here anymore. Like when I moved to LA, like I just landed in West Hollywood because it was like convenient and everything was kind of here in Central. But now it's all tweakers and it's just like kind of shady and gross and like, yeah. So I get it. The tweakers are out of control.
Areas go through like, I don't know, phases, I guess. Like when you were here, this was like VLAN was, I don't know, did they have the apartments in front here by the beach when you were here? So were those still built or they demolished? Yeah, so that was before even your time. Shows how old I am. But when that was like, when there were these apartments at Belsey Land here, that's when it was like thug central, scraps every day. Everybody's always scrapping around this area. It was a very territorial beach. Belsey Land was very notorious for that. That's why I loved it, and I loved living here. And I've lived here for 25 years in front of VLAN. And now it's like multi-million-dollar homes and like actors and all these people like live right here. Now it's all like super wealthy. It's like $2-3 million for these homes, and everybody's all howly and whatever. It's all cool. Definitely like a cleaner vibe, but it's definitely not like the North Shore. Like even when you were here, it was still more. Remember my parties I'd throw at my house?
Yeah, dude, Steve. How did that pan out? I don't know if we could say more than that.
I mean, you know him well. He's a wild man.
Can I elaborate further?
Sure, go ahead.
No, we're talking about, I guess he was a leader of the Hells Angels, right?
Yeah, he was the president of a San Diego chapter.
Did you know I had sex with him?
I did know you had sex with him.
I was so fucking crazy then. I remember I was across the street from your house with Drew, and we were hanging out, and he said, "Oh, the Hells Angels guys over at Aden's," and I literally, without saying a word, I just took off running across the fucking way to go meet him. Like I was like obsessed with like bad boys and like felons and all that. And then I had like casually mentioned that I worked at Roxa, which was the strip club I worked at. And then he showed up there, and then like we hung out, and then he like, I don't know, he didn't even like, I didn't like have his information. He just showed up there one night, and then we like hooked up. It was kind of crazy, honestly. It was bad vibes. And then I had told my roommate about the Hells Angels guy, and I guess like we were having like really loud sex, but it was like a little too aggressive, like it was just like too much. And then the next morning she said, "I knew who you were there with by the sounds you were making." She was like, "I knew it was the Hells Angels guy."
Yeah, that was a pretty wild time in your life and mine.
I know, and I'm sober. I'm a different person, not a shady slut anymore.
I know that you. I don't know. Just you're intrigued by us bad boys.
Yeah,
for sure.
I also love how like I haven't really talked to people from Hawaii for a while, and you so have that accent. Do people say you have an accent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have that broken English like pigeon style accent.
Yeah, I love it.
But it comes in close. Like when we go over to the mainland, we cut it off completely.
Really,
like,
you can?
I'll never. Oh yeah. So
why?
Like, switch of a button.
It's cool.
Because it's more easy. Like I don't know. You got a chameleon blend in with all the clowns.
So you grew up in Kauai, and then you moved to Oahu when?
I came to Oahu, I think I was like 13. went to Le Jardin Private Academy.
What's
My
that?
parents put me up in it's like this high maka school down the street, like in Kailua, called Le Jardin Academy. It's a French private school.
Oh. Why'd you go there?
I was smart, this boy. Had a brain. Kind of a smart guy. Yeah.
So they just wanted you to go to a better school.
Yeah, my parents wanted me to have a good education, which helped me out a lot, you know, in life. They set me out so I could, because I enjoy like business and you know, doing stuff like that. I've always had multiple businesses in life, and you know, along with my acting and stunt career, I still try to do other stuff because you have a lot of downtime when you're a stuntman. Even when you're on set, there's a lot of downtime. You're in your trailer for like sometimes 8 hours waiting to go on set, and you're on set for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. It might be real quick.
Different streams of income.
Yeah, I like to have different streams of income. Right now, I have a medical business, a couple of them, because this pandemic that we're dealing with.
What kind of medical business?
I do masks and gloves and PPE distribution around the world.
Do you need a credit card processor?
I have one. I have a company that does that.
My husband does it. He has his own high risk credit card processing company. Does he
do it for marijuana dispensaries?
Yeah, he does. He has solutions for it. He does.
Yeah, because I have those too.
Yeah, I know. And I know that. Well, I'll text you about that after, and maybe you guys could talk about it. Yeah, I do remember like you were always like you had a construction company too, and you did weed stuff, and like I remember like you. Well, first of all, you're like how tall? 6'5"?
I'm 6'6". 5, 6'6". Yeah.
6'5", 6'6". Yeah, you're a big guy. You really like command a lot of attention. Like you are, but like I'm just curious like where that came from and where that started from.
Probably my lack of love and hugs I got as a child. Just kidding.
Yeah. No, totally. That's right on. Yeah.
I think being the center of attention, it just is kind of like I kind of always what you said. You know, you say I'm big, and come sit down, Maddox. My nephews just walked on my deck. Come say hi, Maddox. This is Maddox.
How's it going?
Because we're doing a podcast.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Oh my God, I love your hair. I love your hair.
You'll be the next world champion surfer. You'll be
hell yeah.
Interviews with him.
He's so cute.
Being the center of attention, yeah, he's a handsome guy. I think it's just come from like coming from Honolulu, Kauai. I think we had like this circle of friends coming up as kids. Everybody that I grew up with became something like worldwide. Everybody knows my circle of friends. Like the world knows them, you know? It's like Bruce Irons, Andy Irons. They became, you know, very professional surfers. Dustin Barca, Reef McIntosh. I mean, our little clique. So, you know, you had to stand out in our circle of friends. So I think we were all show-offs growing up.
Yeah.
We were all just like, that's just the way we were. We just were always goofballs and having fun and laughing and loud and obnoxious. I'm still that way.
But did someone kind of influence you growing up that you had to like?
Oh,
you're okay. Yeah.
Sure, my dad. My dad's name is Wolfman. He came here. You remember Wolfman?
Wait, that sounds so familiar. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he came to Hawaii in like 1952. He was like 13 with a surfboard and $10, and never left, and made a really big name for himself here on the North Shore of Oahu and also on Kauai. So I had to, you know, and he's a huge personality, my dad. Like he was, you know, I'm a big time drug smuggler in the day and grew
Really?
tons of weed. Yeah, and surfed the big pipeline and all the Y-Man, all those waves before anybody else did. He was back in the day with like the originators. So he's quite a show off too.
Yeah.
Fun guy. So I definitely get it from my dad.
Yeah, because I feel like from the very beginning, like you've always been doing like multiple businesses and you always like were the guy like who just kind of had everything like figured out for like, it seemed like. You were just like always on it.
I appreciate that. The type of person though that I look like that on the outside, like I got the Mercedes and multiple houses and all the money and the cute daughters and the family. But in my brain, I'm always like, I got to do better. I'm always like, oh my God.
Workaholism.
I woke up the other day and I'm like, I'm 43 and I'm a fucking stuntman and I fall down for a living. What the fuck am I doing? Why am I not like, why don't I have, I have a beach home in Hawaii. I have one in Atlanta. I have a place in LA. I'm just like, and I don't feel like I've accomplished enough and I don't feel like I'm good enough.
Yeah.
I'm still like, it's weird like that. Like most people would be like, fuck you, Aden. You have a fucking house at VLAN. You're looking at, like, look, you're looking at perfect VLAN right now.
Gorgeous.
Eating grapes, talking on a podcast, telling people how cool you are and you're not satisfied.
Yeah. Where do you think that comes from? No, I'm like that. A lot of people are like that. Yeah, I feel like most people are like that, especially in entertainment, to be honest. Because it's like nothing's enough. So you got to work on the inner.
You're never good enough. I'm never good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a hug.
That's so funny. Are you still close with your brother?
Yeah, I see Tom all the time.
Because he's wild. He's wild.
Oh, he's fucking off.
I know. Did you feel?
Tom is wild.
Did you feel a responsibility to be like the good son? Is that fucked up of me to say?
It wasn't a responsibility. It was just easy. In my life, I did whatever Tom did, but I did the opposite. And life was great. Mm-hmm. Don't do meth. That was easy.
Yeah.
Don't party for like 7 days straight on blow. That's easy. But Tom's Tom though, and everybody on the North Shore here on Oahu, when they want to get it on, or like, go charge or do something, they call Tom. And then, because my brother is super fun. He's a great guy. He's like, what is he, 48? But he's lurking on the North Shore still. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I remember I had some like weird interactions with him before I even met you guys.
You didn't sleep with him too, did you?
No. So I worked at 939 at the front desk, which was a strip club for people who don't know. And he was the security guard there. And that was like before I ever like danced or anything. And then he like gave me a bag of Coke and he like parked his motorcycle inside the club lobby. And I was like, who is this guy? And I'm like 19, just like, what is this place? 18 or something. And then I remember I happened to go to like the surf school premiere without knowing what it was. And I remember I went up to someone there and I go, do you know who Tom is? He told me to ask for him on the North Shore, just like some dumb bitch. And then I remember like you came out and like you like picked me up or something. And I was like, who are these guys? They're so fun. And then I met Drew or whatever. And he was like, hey, you want a DVD? And like, I don't know why that's his voice. I know. But
Drew loved you. You guys are super cute.
I know. I'm like, when I was talking to him, I was like, do you hate me? Or like, I just like couldn't tell if he like hated me or was in love with me.
I think you're like the fish that got away kind of thing for him.
Am I? Can you flatter me for a second and tell me?
Yeah, I can actually. You're like the girl that got away for him. He really, I know that he was, at the time you were his little world.
Really?
The Chelsea bubble, yeah.
But he was so horrible.
Yeah, but that's how it was.
That was
you know what
my
I mean? Like,
most
he was
toxic relationship I've ever been in.
yeah, I
He would
agree.
run.
He
He literally ran away. What?
he was really pissed about Steve,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then he was really pissed about me.
He knows.
Oh yeah, he knows me and you fucked around.
How does he know that? You told him?
I told him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a crazy night.
Yeah, that was a fucking crazy. What were you doing? We were
with Carrie Hart.
Oh yeah, that's right. We ended up in Carrie Hart's hotel room
With some other
and
chick who was like super hot.
Yeah, Carrie and me took you girls home. And the rest is history.
Yeah, that was crazy. Let's get into the stuntman stuff.
All right.
So I was really blown away by your IMDb page. You've worked on everything. Would you mind just feeling gross and like shouting out some of the big titles of things, because you have a pretty extensive resume?
Well, I mean, let's look it up, because I have so many that's honestly, like, it's hard.
And of course, I want to get into like how you did. I mean, I don't know, however you want to tackle like discussing it, like, you know, if you want to talk about how you just first started, because when I knew you, you weren't doing any of that.
So when you knew me, I was, but it was a hobby. Like,
Oh.
I was still doing stunts, and but like I didn't take it serious because it was just, you know, I was living on the North Shore. I was riding a lot of dirt bikes, and that's what got me into like being a stuntman, was when I would jump. Like, I don't know if you were around when I threw that big raging party and I had a Red Bull sponsored and we were doing backflips in Haleiwa.
No,
like the
sounds
first
cool.
backflips ever performed in Hawaii.
You did a backflip on a dirt bike?
Yeah, I've done them, but not in this. Not what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about this one, I threw a huge party, because I was like being a promoter back then for Red Bull, and we had a large, and I flew in all the pros. But by then I was just kind of a scrub. So I brought in all my boys, and they were like doing backflips in Haleiwa by breakers, of all places. It was fun. But that's what kind of got me into being a stuntman, was jumping motorcycles.
That's cool. So how does that work? So like because I know they, you know, I feel like the way things work with like production in Hawaii is like there's kind of like a core group of people. Like if you do that, then you're kind of working on everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, in Hawaii, there's probably like 8 to 10 working stuntmen in all of Hawaii, because it's a real small, you know. But so when the films come, we would get work. So it wasn't like I could be a Hollywood stuntman and live in Hawaii and work, you know, half of the year like they do in LA. So it was a hobby at the time, because I was doing a show. First show I ever did was a little tiny show called Lost. I don't know if you
A little tiny show, is that a joke?
Yeah, it's a joke. So
I worked on Lost one day.
You did?
Just in background.
Nice. Yeah, so I did that show for like 8 years straight, constantly. It was off and on. But then like the other shows would come in, and I became friends with coordinators, like Gary Himes is a big time guy. Who else would come to town? Like Gary Himes, Jeff Cariente. He did all of the Hawaii 5-0s. And then like Eric Norris, we got to become friends with him. That's Chuck Norris's son. And got to meet a bunch of really good guys, like the core OGs in the stunt business. You know, Tom McComas. He's like, you know, one of my best friends now. And, you know, got to be really good friends with these guys. So when they'd bring in these films to Hawaii, they just hit me up and be like, Aden, are you free from this date to this date? Can you come get your ass beat up? Drive a car, or flip a car, or crash a bike, or be lit on fire. Can you kill somebody, or can you get killed, or all the fun things that we do on TV and make movies. Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. You know, some of the films I've done are like I'll just name a couple because
Yeah.
I have it in front of me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's hard to remember because Den of Thieves, Guardians of the Galaxy, Logan. This one coming out, this small little one coming out here in a few days is called Wonder Woman 2. Hawaii Five-0, Pitch Perfect 3, The Gifted, Boo 2, Game of Silence, Key and Peele, The Mentalist, Black Lightning, The Mandalorian, Lovecraft Country, The Walking Dead, LA's Finest, Outer Banks, Tacoma, blah, 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 blah. Swamp Thing, Mary, Magnum PI, Hawaii Five-0. Like, I don't know, this is pretty long. I could go on for like, I haven't really updated or looked at it in a long time. So
do you remember all those jobs? I mean, it's like it's nonstop. Do you remember like all those jobs?
I probably have 20 TV shows and films that I don't even have on my list.
Wow.
I just stopped updating it because it becomes like you start thinking like, all right, now I'm just being a pompous asshole. By like, look at me. That's how I start getting like shame. You know, it's weird. You try to like, first when you start off, you're like struggle. I want to build my credits. And then when you start getting like into the 100 range of credits, you're like, all right, now I just look like a show off. Okay, enough already. In my opinion, I don't want to like. I just like to just do films and stuff. Now I've gotten into the point where now I'm starting to second unit coordinate. I should explain what that is. So when you're a stuntman, you go and you hustle jobs, you walk on and you have your resume and you're like, hey, I'm in town. I can work for your movie if you have a place for me. And if you have somebody that I can look like or do this or that, right?
Is that what you've done before? I never heard of that.
It's called the hustle. We call it the hustle. So the hustle, every stuntman and stunt woman does it in the world. It's called the hustle. You go and when like production is setting up a movie, like let's say in Hollywood, we know about it because we kind of get the word, and then we go and we meet the stunt coordinator with our resume, and we're like, hey, do you have a slot for me? Do you have any room for me? Or if it's a friend of yours, usually it's a friend that you know, and they're like, okay, cool, Aden, yeah, I want you to be the bouncer for 6 days in this nightclub scene. You're like, okay, cool, yeah, you get punched and thrown over the bar. Okay, cool. So that's how you kind of hustle your jobs. Or you have an agent.
Yeah.
The agent will throw you a lot of work. I have agents, and I have a press manager and stuff like that, so they help me out.
But that's how you get going. You do the hustle.
Yeah, you do the hustle, and then you get on jobs and you get on sets and you meet the right people. You know, you kiss the right ass and you suck the right cock.
So do you have to do any sort of training for this? Like, how do you know how to fucking flip a car and light yourself on fire?
So everybody in the stunt business, I'd say like 90% have a professional something background. Whether it's martial arts, karate, jiu-jitsu, motorcycles like me, race car guys, there's like all those like contortionists and all those people, like everybody has that kind of skill. And then once you use that kind of skill to catapult you into the business, you kind of learn everything either on the fly, like I have. Like I've never gone to a course, I've never gone to a training camp. I can just do it. You just have to have that little button in the back of your head.
Fight or flight?
Most people, yeah. Well, you get rid of that.
Well, I didn't know you were talking about when you said the button in the back of your head.
It's a button in the back of my head that's like, if I'm standing on the top of a flight of stairs and they're like, okay, now turn around and get punched in the face and just fall backwards. Most people would, like, if I told you to do that, wouldn't you be like,
No. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it, right?
No.
Yeah, okay, so I do. I want to.
Why?
I think it's fun. Because I'm into it. Like, it looks great. Like, I mean, if it's like 20 flights of stairs and I got to stand up there and you get punched in the face and then you just fall backwards blindly and you go all the way down, all the way to the bottom, backwards, all the way to the bottom, that's the button I'm talking about. You got to be able to step in front of a car at 20 miles an hour and get hit by the car and not look at the car. You have to look this way and then just get hit.
How do you,
You know,
detach from that mentally?
I think it's a very different kind of human. I think that we are wired a little different than the normal, you know. I honestly do. I've gotten some, like all my really best friends are stunt people. So like we're just retarded. We're a
Yeah,
little
but were
tapped.
you always like that? Like, were you like, can
Oh,
you
yeah.
think back to when you were growing up? Were you like doing
I
crazy
always
shit like that?
I always was. I was born to be a stuntman. I've never had a big, you know, surfing big waves before. It was like this, like the thing to do with behind jet skis. We did that when we were young, and we were still doing that. But like the cars, just knowing how to drive, and the motorcycles jumping far, and just not having that fear of, okay, I just broke my leg. Oh well, you know, like that stuff just kind of came natural. I think it comes natural for a lot of stunt people. I mean, I'm afraid of heights, but I'll jump off a building.
Wow. Yeah. Well, is there anything that you won't do, or that you're like, no, I can't?
No, I mean, I'll do everything that I'm asked. Like only time I've ever turned down a job was because I had a torn hip flexor and I couldn't do it. Like the pain was just too much. And usually I'll just go through it. I'll just eat a bunch of pills or whatever, and I'll just suck it up. But this is on Jurassic. Oh no, it was on Jumanji. And they wanted me to do like this motorcycle jump, and there was all these pros there. And I told the coordinator, I was like, I'm in way too much pain. We had enough guys to do it, so it was fine. But I just did all the other motorcycle stuff, and with the Rock and stuff, you know, got cabled off and beat up by the Rock and Dwayne Johnson. But yeah, there's usually I just say yes to everything. I'm cool.
Do you get injuries every time though?
Yeah, you know, I mean, like you get dirty lickings a lot. So I mean, but our risk is extremely high, and then we drop our risk factor with technology, mathematics, common sense, and safety precaution. So we try to minimize our risk of death as much as we can. And you know, every year you lose a couple stunt professionals in the industry.
Wow.
We lost a girl on Deadpool.
Really?
Yeah, we had a girl die on Deadpool 2 in Canada. She came off of a downhill. She was on a motorcycle and came off of a downhill ramp, and when the bike dropped away, she wasn't really prepared for the front of the bike to fall. So when the bike drops away, your throttle hand would turn when the bike's falling, so that gave the bike a lot of acceleration, and it launched her into a wall.
Oh my God.
I'll give you the short version. Yeah, and she wasn't wearing a helmet because the actress that she was doubling had no helmet on. So she hit a wall and split that thing open. It was.
Oh my God. Were you there?
I had a friend that was right on the scene in the first one to her, and he said it was just, you know, there was
horrifying.
Yeah, it was really a bad scene, you know. But I mean, I had a friend of mine. He missed the bag, missed some mats, hit his head. He's dead on a show, you know.
So when you hear that, when you hear that though, does that scare you? Like, does that make you think about what you're doing, or?
No, it doesn't. It because it's on you as a stunt performer to you check your own harnesses, you check your own car, you look at your own roll cage. It's on you. You know, you check your own equipment. You need to be on top of your game. And I mean, I've broken bones and I've, you know, been in a lot of situations, but it was because of accidents but we really keep it to the low. You always get banged up and bruised and separated. I separate my shoulder all the time, and broken my arm, a bunch of fingers, and stuff like that. And you just suck it up and don't really tell anybody when I've done any of that stuff. I've just gone home and then got it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really want to be like,
because you want to work.
I broke this. Yeah, because then as soon as you're hurt, you're not working.
You don't want to be a pain in the ass.
And you always want to get rehired.
Stuntmen
and stuntwomen are tough.
Yeah, and like obviously you want to. I know that you've done some acting roles too. I mean, outside of stunt stuff, but is that something that you want to also kind of get into more?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy acting. A lot of stunt people, they don't like dialogue. They just think it's, some people are like, oh, actors, you make them look so good. And I like to do both. I like to do the acting. I did some for Game of Silence, did like 9 episodes. I've done stuff, here and there, a lot of one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bitch.
Right before you get punched.
Yep.
I feel like that is the line of every, like, right before every action scene.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, because I know, obviously, like Danny Trejo's story of like how he got started, like he was out of jail and went to go teach Eric Roberts how to do like a boxing scene or something, and then became the stunt coordinator, and then was like acting in it or something, right?
Yeah, that's it. Like same with Van Damme, kind of did his thing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that he started
Jean-Claude
doing
Van Damme. He like, I think he was trying to get on something with Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
And he like slept on Chuck Norris's yard to get a job. Then he got a job and he gave him a shot as a stuntman. And he had to do a bunch of stunts that day, and he was trying to do the stunts and they were real, and he was getting dirty lickings. And he was like, fuck this. Why would I don't need to be a stuntman. I should be the actor.
Yeah.
So because I mean, being a stuntman, there's a lot of glory and all this other stuff. We make the actors look super killer, but you're behind the scenes, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
You're not all this famous guy, but some people like that.
Yeah, I imagine you get a high from it too, like during and after.
Yeah, you get a big adrenaline rush. You got to be an adrenaline junkie for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Who have you doubled for?
I double multiple times for guys like Vinnie Jones. If you're not familiar with him, he's the guy from Snatch, Bullet Tooth Tony. He's a English ex-maniac soccer player, and he was in like Midnight Meat Train and Snatch, and I mean, he's been in a lot of things. I doubled him on a few shows. You May Now Not Kiss the Bride. I doubled him there. MacGyver, I doubled him on that show. And then Vincent D'Onofrio, you know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
So I doubled him on a show called Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the bad guy, the killer, the main thug. His name is Kingpin. So that was an episodic television show, and we did it in New York City for, I think, 3 seasons. They're probably going to be bringing it back. And then I double a bunch of other guys. I doubled I was on the show called Swamp Thing for DC.
The billboard is 1 block away from me. I see it every day.
Yeah, so I'll be, well, now I'll probably be wearing that suit. I'll be the Swamp Thing monster when it comes back to HBO.
Really? So is that video on your Instagram that has like the transformation of you and with the hair and makeup special effects?
They'll make us a suit. That suit costs like 1.2 mil.
What?
Real expensive.
What?
Yeah, and it's completely to our body. So I had a friend named Jeremy who was the original Swamp Thing. He actually passed away last month. So we're really bummed about losing Jeremy.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, it sucks. He was a super good guy. Like, that guy was just a legend, like unbelievable. But you know, the good die young, right? They say that. And oh my God, how big is that whale? Sorry. They're jumping in front of my house. Yeah, so that they make us that suit, and the transformation, you have to sit there for hours, and they cast your body, and then those guys are amazing what they do. They make Jeremy was Swamp Thing, and I was the bad guy called Floronic Man in the show, and we had this big battle at the end of the show, but they ended up cutting the season short, so we never got to have our crazy battle we were going to have. So now I hear that they're having HBO is going to pick up the show again, is what I keep hearing, and we're going to be able to continue. But I don't know if I'll either be the bad guy or the good guy, or I'll be both, because we can jump around in those suits, because we found the exact same body guy.
How long do you have to sit in hair and makeup for that, or special effects, when they're putting that on your face? Or was that just a mold?
To do the mold, it was like 5.5, 6 hours. You're there at this place, and you're in the chair for like, you know, a good majority of that. And then after the suit's made, you go to work. It's usually like an hour to 2 hours doing everything, putting on all of the suit and all of the makeup and the teeth and the eyes and the, you know, the contacts. So it's time consuming. They bring you in early, and then you got your little people that follow you around everywhere and touch it up constantly.
How do you keep your energy up when you're sitting in hair and makeup for 5-6 hours, and then you have to go and be full of energy and do all these crazy things?
Like, sometimes I fall asleep in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not much energy, because it's like sometimes they'll call you in at like 4 a.m, 3, 2, like super early, because you got to be ready by a certain time to get everybody. You know, you got to be ready when that director calls action. So they'll bring you in really early. So you just got to have, when it's time, when they call action, that's when you bring on the A game. You got it. You can't be the person that like screws up. That's the worst ever. The person that screws up. I refuse to be that person.
Yeah. But like, do you drink like caffeine before? Are you like pounding Red Bull or coffee or something? Like, or do you do any sort of ritual before?
Like, no, I don't do well on caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink a lot of Red Bulls. Like, I just naturally have a lot of energy. You know, I'm kind of like, I don't know I probably should be diagnosed with something like ADHD or whatever. Like, I should probably be on something, but I mean, I just have a lot of energy, me personally. But I mean, a lot of people are coffee aholics on the set. Like, that thing goes down. So many people drink coffee.
Yeah. But how do you like, but how do you like train to be like lit on fire, or like to be hit by a car? Like, as you started to get more work, did you start to like practice or something? Or like, how does that work? Like, how do you become ready for that?
Well, we get like days before we actually shoot where we do like previs. It's called previs. So we'll actually go and do the entire scene with a bunch of stunt people and a camera, and it's called previs, and we'll previs the entire scene. We'll rehearse it, do it. Usually you'll do like a small burn. You won't, like, you're doing a full body burn, which is super dangerous. Like, if you open your mouth during the burn or you try to breathe at all, the fire goes into your lungs, you die. So you have to be very like on point when you're doing a full body fire burn. Your head is engulfed in flames, and you got all the gel on you, and you got the layers and layers of burn suit on, and it's, you know, you're all gelled up and slimy, and you sometimes just breathing through like a little straw while you're waiting, and they're putting everything on, and then they'll put all the igniter all over you.
Is that scary?
Yeah, full
Yeah.
body burns are pretty nice. They are. It is scary. Like, I mean, it's an intense moment. You know, I've done a couple in my career, big burns. I did a good one for a show called Guardians of the Galaxy 2. In that show, I was a guy called Taserface. He was, yeah. I was doubling an actor, this guy Chris, and it's the scene where he is on fire and he falls down these stairs, pushes a couple buttons, and then he's talking to this gold lady and tells her, like, you know, before I die, just remember my name's Taserface and I'm the one that did this. So that was me doing all that. And you know, you're on fire. I was putting it out, but it's more it's more you have to really stay focused when you're about to be lit on fire, because it's a dangerous thing. I think high falls are probably one of the most dangerous car hits, stair falls, because they can go wrong. And fire, definitely a lot of guys get nipped from fire. You get little burns, you know, stuff that gets through sometimes, little hot spots with them.
Yeah. What's the scariest stunt you've done?
I mean, all of them are scary in a way, you know. Like, I mean, I was doing a show where I had to do a T-bone. For it wasn't so that it was scary, it was that had to be so precise, the timing. That was the scary part.
Are you talking about a car crash, T-bone?
Yeah, like a car hitting the other car sideways.
So yeah.
So there's two police officers on motorcycles, then there's a cop car, then there's the car, then there's more police officers on motorcycles, and I'm supposed to thread all of these other vehicles and T-bone just the car, and it's blind, so there's a building here, so I can't see them until they zoom by, and I have to already be at speed. So if they zoom by and I hit the cops, I kill those stuntmen. If I hit the squad car, I hit the wrong car. So, and we're doing it at like 45 miles an hour. So just to do timing, that was like nerve wracking because I had to be so perfect.
Yeah.
And it worked. I T-boned that car and it flipped.
Whoa.
It had a big ram.
2 years ago, a foot ramp?
Yeah, the car has a big foot ramp.
Oh, to get it to flip?
I hit it, yeah, it flips.
Wow.
2 years ago.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I got in a T-bone crash and I still have PTSD from it. Like when my car was completely totaled and like I was hit, you know, and it like completely threw me off. Like, you know, obviously I didn't expect it to happen. It was some dumb fucking chick who just like was an idiot and driving wrong. And like, it's still scary for me to drive. Like if someone else is driving and I'm not the one who's like in control, like my heart stops sometimes. Do you get any sort of like residual? Are you laughing? Am I pussy?
No, in my head, I'm thinking she must not be a listener.
What do you mean?
The chick who hit you.
Oh, but like, dumb fucking chick. But like, do you get any like residual sort of like trauma or PTSD from doing these? Like, are you like on edge sometimes? Like,
never.
No, really?
Nope. Not at
all.
Who are you? Not at all. Like I'm no way. I'm more excited that it's done and we get to do something bigger now.
Mm-hmm. Has this made you fearless in your real life in like other areas or no?
For sure. No, for sure it has. It definitely gives you, I wouldn't say it's like a God complex, but it's like, it gives you like a no fear complex of doing the average everyday mundane life that everybody is normal used to. We are yawning. Whenever I'm with my friends, like if I don't go over 100 miles an hour whenever I'm in a vehicle every day, it's not normal.
You're addicted.
Every day, like I'm on my Harley, and if I'm not on the freeway doing like 130, wheeling my bike down the road, it's not fun.
Because you have to have the rush.
You get addicted to it, kind of. I mean, if you saw how we drive on the freeway, you'd be white knuckle the whole time in my car.
No.
You're like holding on, like, oh my God, this just, can you stop? Can you just let
I
go?
hate that.
But it's fun. Like, I mean, it's just the way that we do it. You'd be surprised. A lot of stunt people are probably not like me. I mean, I know a lot that are, like my friend Tom McComas. We're very, very much similar in that, like, balls to the walls 24/7. Then a lot of stunt people are just mellow, like smoking weed, like, what up, dude?
Sorry, I just heard a weird noise. It sounded like a gunshot. My neighborhood has gotten so shady.
Are you serious?
Sort of.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a little odd. I mean, like with going on with all the protests and stuff, like there was like, I'm like right in the middle of all the action, you know? So it's been a little much. But it might just be construction too, actually.
So you're is LA is completely shut down right now because of COVID?
Yeah. Yeah. LA
Bars,
is like pretty
restaurants,
bad. Like there's takeout, but there's no like indoor dining or anything. And then like a lot of businesses are closed. Like basically like only, you know, the essential places are open. What about Hawaii?
Yeah, we still have everything is open here. Like you can go sit down and eat in restaurants here in Hawaii.
Really?
You just have to. Yeah. I went to Joe's the other night. You can just have to wear the mask.
Mm-hmm. Are people good about it or like more lax?
No, everybody's good about it here in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty on it. We don't, because we're like a cocoon. We're like this little island chain. So,
Mm-hmm.
and all the holidays come from the mainland, so that's who's bringing it. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Hawaii in April, to Maui, and then we decided not to go last minute. But like we were seeing like a lot of people were like really pissed about people from the mainland coming, and they like didn't want them coming in with like the virus and shit.
Well, you remember, like, they don't want them to come here in the first place.
Yeah,
Now
I know. Is it still like that?
Really, like, yeah. Oh yeah, it's still territorial. It's Hawaii.
Yeah, like on waves and shit, right?
Yeah, of course. Nothing has changed in that aspect. Like, I mean,
it's like you think that's something from Blue Crush, but it's real.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
And are all the hot guys still at Foodland at 6 p.m. every day? That was my favorite part about coming to the North Shore. I was like, we have to go to Foodland at 6 p.m. every day when all the servers are done surfing, and you just see like
Club Foodland.
And it's a parade of the hottest guys you've ever seen buying beer.
Yep, we always go there and we always are buying beer, and there's always chicks at Foodland. North Shore's still the same. Like, yeah, it's the meat market. Every winter, a couple 100,000 people come to the North Shore, and out of those couple 100,000 people, there's a lot of chicks that are coming to get dick down. And we have to service them.
I guess that never ends. That's so fun.
Part of the job.
Does Ted still exist?
Ted's Bakery, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think about the chocolate jalapeno pie. I want it.
I got one in my refrigerator now.
Damn, I'm so jealous.
It's the best. It's the best.
Anything else we didn't cover? Any crazy story you want to end on?
We went on some crazy tangents on this combo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what's next for me? I guess I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a film. So I went from being a stuntman, and now I'm doing stunt coordinating, where you hire all the stuntmen and you make all the stunts, and you come up with all the, you come up with them all, and they get accepted by the director. Like, oh yeah, that was great. And you show them his little previs. So what's next for me? I've got maybe 4 to 7 films lined up where I'll be the stunt coordinator.
Wow.
And I start my first one, I think, on the 11th of next month. I'll be in Saudi Arabia and Dubai.
Whoa, doing what?
Doing a film, like a shoot 'em up action adventure film over there. And then after that, I'll go back here and start another film in July. I think we'll be filming we don't know yet, but it's going to be like France, London, all all over Europe. I think it's going to be called Den of Thieves 2 with Gerard Butler. It'll be a good one. And then after that, we have a show called Black Flag, which is a epic pirate film with, I think, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure Jason Statham is going to be the main actor in that one. And then after that, just a couple more from the same director that I work for. So I'll be a busy boy.
That's amazing. You're so busy. And like, it's cool to know, even like, I feel like a lot of people don't even know their schedule out that far in entertainment half the time.
No, I'm really lucky to be in with this circle of people that have my back, you know, because in this industry, it's so sharky and cutthroat, and people are so fake and bunch of kiss ass donkeys. You guys know.
But do you have to stop doing that at a certain age? Like, is it kind of like you're good until you're like 50 and then you can't really do the stunts anymore? Like, is there an end date sort of?
Nope. What we do is we have our exit. Our exit is directing.
Nice.
So you go from stuntman to stunt coordinator to second unit director. So in a film, there's two directors that direct a film. You don't know that. There's the first unit, which is all the drama and the dialogue, and that's like the Steven Spielbergs and Martin Scorsese's, like those guys direct, like Leonardo, and they have those moments. Then there's the second unit director, which is a stunt director that comes in for all the action, because they're not the guys flipping the cars. It may look like Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie, but it's really us. So we have our director directing that scene, and then they merge the two full films that are going on at the same time into one film. Our exit is we become second unit directors. I directed one film in India already, and I've stunt coordinated some TV and film. So I'm slowly trying to get out of falling on my ass all day, breaking my back.
Yeah, that's amazing that you guys can go into that. Is that like where you prefer to be?
Oh yeah, I'd way prefer to be a second unit director than hustling jobs and being a stuntman.
Yeah, but I guess you got to pay your dues to get there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been in this business for 17 or 18 years now.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty long time.
That's
paid my
sick.
dues for sure. That's been fun. I mean,
yeah. Thanks for coming on, Aden.
The Chelsea show. I love seeing that you're a comedian now. You were not funny back then. What happened?
Really?
Funny?
Was I not funny? I don't remember. What was it? Wait, what was your perception of me? But I was only like
back
19.
Then?
Yeah, I was like a drunk. Was I a drunk?
Yeah, you were a drunk party chick at my house every day, sleeping on my couch. I'd wake up and open the door. You'd be like naked on my couch.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen you naked like 100 times.
Well, who hasn't?
Used to shower in my outside shower and then just walk from the outside shower into my house naked. It was so funny.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
did I really?
Like, yeah, you'd be all, oops.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember I even slept in Steve's bed one time.
Yep. You were not shy. I'll tell you that.
I know.
But I mean, you're this hot little like 21-year-old chick at my house every day. I was stoked. You're a smoke show. You still are. Your husband's lucky. He seems like a cool guy.
He is a really cool guy. He's a good guy too. And it's like the healthiest relationship, because I only really had toxic relationships. Drew was like my biggest Sid and Nancy kind of.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you happy. I follow you on Instagram, and you seem like you're happy and doing all your comedy, and I'm proud of you. You're not a whore anymore.
I know. Thank you.
So I blossomed.
I did. It was a lot of work, honestly. It was, but it's like you can't be a whore at 33.
Self-development, everybody needs self-development, including me.
Yeah. Shout out where we can find you on social. for the listeners.
Aden Stay Kauai. ADENSTAY KAUAI. That's my Insta.
Awesome. Thank you.
Word. All right, beautiful.